Good afternoon and welcome to St Martin in the Fields and welcome to this week's Great Sacred Music. Today is Nelson Mandela Day. It serves as an annual celebration that highlights the enduring legacy of a remarkable individual who shaped the course of the 20th century and influenced the trajectory of the 21st. At the heart of Mandela's work resided a profound conviction in the equality and inherent worth of every human being, coupled with an unwavering commitment to fostering dialogue and solidarity across all boundaries and divisions. As a statesman of great stature, he ardently championed equality and played a pivotal role in establishing peace in South Africa. We opened Great Sacred Music today with Nkosi Sikelel' L'Africa, the South African national anthem. It was originally composed in 1897 by a clergyman at a Methodist mission school near Johannesburg. The song became a pan-African liberation song, and versions of it were later adopted as the national anthems of 5 countries in Africa. In 1994, after the end of apartheid, the new president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, declared that both Nkosi Sikelel' Africa and the previous national anthem would both be national anthems. In 1996, a shortened combined version of the 2 compositions was released. The first 2 lines of the first stanza are sung in Xhosa and the last 2 in Zulu. The second stanza is sung in Sesotho. The third stanza consists of a verbatim section of the former South African national anthem and is sung in Afrikaans. The final stanza, as you heard, is sung in English. So it's our tradition at Great Sacred Music to begin by singing a hymn together. God of Freedom, God of Justice was written by the New Zealand hymn writer Shirley Arena Murray and reflects on hymns of social justice, peace, and human rights, which is particularly appropriate as we mark Nelson Mandela Day. So we remain seated as the voices stand and lead God of Freedom, God of Justice. Surendran Reddy wrote more than 100 compositions, which represent an extraordinary period in South Africa's history, before, during, and after the end of apartheid. He's perhaps best known for a crossover style that he developed in the late 1990s and 2000s that he called Class, a fusion of classical, jazz, African, and other world music. While the composition that we're going to sing in a moment is more traditional in style, it's one of his settings of the Lord's Prayer. After that, the Magnificat by Peter Klatzoff. His voice is a distinctive one, with something of the English choral tradition flowing through his compositions. In fact, he came to the United Kingdom, was a pupil at the Royal College of Music down the road. His music also shows a very strong African quality. For many years, he was a composition lecturer at the University of Cape Town. He was known for his quick wit, a natural flair with words, being strong-willed, but also his ability to truly inspire and encourage his students. He had an intense, precise, and organized nature when it came to composing. Apparently, he usually set about starting at 4 a.m. every day with a coffee in hand, and very rarely skipping a day. So we hear part of the traditional Anglican service of Evensong, his setting of the Magnificat in A, but before that, the Lord's Prayer.
Thy
Michael Moraine was a choral music composer and the first black South African to write a symphonic poem in 1941. In a few moments, we'll hear his arrangement of the African-American spiritual, "It's Me, O Lord." James Cone, the African-American theologian and prolific author, writes about spirituals. They are historical songs which speak about the rupture of black lives. They tell us about a people in the land of bondage and what they did to hold themselves together and to fight back. We are told that the people of Israel could not sing the Lord's song in a strange land. But for African Americans, their very being depended upon a song. Through songs, they built new structures for existence in an alien land. The spirituals enabled African Americans to retain a measure of African identity whilst living in the midst of American slavery, providing both the substance and the rhythm to cope with human servitude. The spiritual, then, is the spirit of the people struggling to be free. It is their religion, their source of strength in time of trouble. And if one does not know what trouble is, then the spiritual cannot be understood. So here is Michael Moraine's arrangement of the spiritual, "It's Me, O Lord." So it's almost time to sing our next hymn together, which you'll find on the inside of your sheet. Over the last 50 years, it's become perhaps one of the greatest hymns of all time, paraphrasing that great hymn of praise which Mary sang as she visited Elizabeth to tell the news that she was to give birth to God's Son. The words by Timothy Dudley Smith, one-time Bishop of Thetford, and it was set to the tune Woodlands by Walter Greatorex. Timothy Dudley Smith explained the connection to the tune. He wrote, "The use of the hymn has been greatly encouraged by setting it to the tune Woodlands, a choice which I owe primarily to the editors of the hymn book 100 Hymns for Today. The combination is an interesting one in that both he and I, the composer of the tune, Walter Greatorex, though we never met and belonged to different generations, were at school in Derbyshire and later associated with Norfolk. He was music master at Gresham's School in Holt from 1911 to 1936, while I came to Norfolk as Archdeacon of Norwich in 1973. Woodlands is the name of one of the houses at the school, Gresham's. So we'll remain seated as the voices stand and lead, "Tell Out My Soul."
Tell out my soul.
Thank you very much for joining us for Great Sacred Music for this week. On the way out, there's an opportunity to donate to a retiring collection which helps us as we build and grow the music programme here at St Martin's. If you haven't got cash, there's other ways to give, from QR codes to website links to text messaging, all on the back of the sheet. Please do give generously. Next week's Great Sacred Music is the day before the Paris Olympics start, and hence the theme is the Olympics. I'll let you guess what the choral music might be for that. And please do also join us on Sundays for our programme Choral Classics, which is half an hour of words music, each led by a member of St Martin's Voices. This weekend's theme is the sky. I'll let you think about what the music might be for that as well. Nelson Mandela said, "I am fundamentally an optimist. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed towards the sun, one's feet moving forward. There were many dark moments when my faith in humanity was sorely tested, but I would not and could not give myself up to despair. That way lies defeat and death." And that sentiment is reflected in our final piece of music, the second movement from Peter Klatzoff's Prayers and Dances of Praise from Africa, the Great Amen. Thanks for joining us.